Hello all, Cred here back with a new concept video for DayZ modding. In this episode, I'm covering crafting journal to notebook items that you could write extensively into. This is an idea I've had for a while, but to be honest, I don't think it's for most people in DayZ. This is because an item like a journal is based more around building up a game character than survival. Because of this, I reckon the journal would be suited for larger communities based on roleplay. Places like DayZ RP, Falcon RP, and smaller RP communities would make the best out of these items. However, with more PvP based communities, I could be wrong here, but I don't think it would interest those types of players. So just be aware that if it was developed into modding, it could well be something very, very niche. But I could be wrong. Maybe there's like servers which are halfway houses. It's a bit of PvP and a bit of RP as well. So it could be relevant. You know, it's really down to the actual person. Tell me your thoughts, guys. Anyway, here we go. This is journals and notebooks.
Here's the pitch.
So we're going to start by looking at how a book could be crafted. First, we need to bind paper to make pages. Here, I reckon to make it realistic, you could collect numerous sheets of paper and bind them together. As you know, it's pretty easy, as you can tear out blank sheets of paper from books and get blank sheets of paper from the floor as well. So if you can get some blank pieces of paper, they need to be bound together. Here's my take on how to craft it, but if you come up with something better or a better method, then let us know otherwise. We get the first sheet of paper either in the character's hand or on the floor. We fold that in half. Now that it's folded, it's turned into a tabbed item for crafting. You could fold each paper, of course, one by one, but I reckon that would be monotonous. Just by dropping the other sheets in quickly into the tab would offer a more effective way and be more true to the game's mechanics. So we take the pieces of paper and we start to add them. Perhaps you'd have to put in a certain set number to activate the craft command, but what also would be good would be for a player to set how many pages they want by the number of pages they add. So for example, if you crafted 3 sheets plus the folded sheet in the tab, you would make a total number of 8 sides, and if you wanted to extend your book even more, adding even more pages, you could put in 7 sheets plus the tab. That would make 16 sides. So moving on to the final stage in crafting, once the pages are in place, you need to thread the pages together. Obviously, this is where we combine a sewing kit to the tab, and this will craft you the notebook. So basically, all the pages have been folded in half and bound together with thread. Now, I reckon it could probably take a bit of programming and inputting text and saving text, but the system could be similar to how you could write a note, but with fields for double pages. So when I put a pen onto it, this is my best idea. There could be double text fields that pop up that correlate to the pages on your notepad, and you'd be able to navigate around them with arrow options to flip the pages. So when the text is finished and written on a particular page, it could be accepted and then appear as the same format as on a book. So what could these notebooks offer over a note? Well, it's really down to the imaginations of the communities, but here's a few ideas. If you have a server with local players, it could be handy to have a notebook to record everything from taking down info of people you've met, or local rumours, to even people you were searching for, or people that are searching for certain things which you might be able to help them with. Even when it comes to building bases, the notebook could be useful for your groups as a logbook, for instance. So when you haven't logged in for some time, you go into your group's base and catch up on events by reading the logbook. This could make you aware of errands or things that need to be done within the group, or people you might have encountered as a group, or the group politics, anything like that at all. So when bases become more prominent, it's great means of giving you an idea of what's going on around you through some text format, and you know, you can look at it and you can just read everything in it, you know, to catch up than pecking everyone's head on TS. Another similar idea would be the trader's log. I've seen a few players and groups who specialise in trading, and I think this is awesome. Hopefully later on down the line we'll have trading posts, things you can make out of bases maybe, which would be really cool. This is where trading, I think, could get quite sophisticated, because maybe if you have local players or groups visiting, you can possibly loan out equipment to characters and even groups with good reputations. For this you could keep logs in game, but it's really down to how organised and ruthless trade posts actually become, or even if they're player run altogether. But I really do think there's like a lot of action could be done here with trading posts, and you know, just having a backup log for it would be great. Another idea which I reckon would be interesting, but you would need a large active community of RPers for it to work. This might be a bit corny, but if you played as a journalist, you might want to write like a regular newspaper. So you can make copies of your paper by crafting notebooks that you give out to your survivors, and they could pass them on to other survivors on their travels. Kind of like Reader's Digest, covering the politics to current events within the Wasteland, so players can give other interesting knowledge to others within the game. But once again, I reckon something like this could only work in a tight community of DayZ RPers. So that's a few ideas, but this is what I really wanted to show you guys. If you wanted a notebook or booklet to look more like a personal item for a journal or diary, you could craft a leather cover. This would make a notebook look more professional, valued, or perhaps harder to damage. I reckon it'd be pretty straightforward when crafting as well. You get a sheet of leather, attach it to a notebook, get a leather sewing kit and stitch it all together. Even easier, you could combine a leather sewing kit with a notebook, just the two of them together, and you have a journal that's converted from the leather cover of the sewing kit. And there you have it, the journal. I think this will be good because it will help in many ways to build characters' backstories and character storylines for others to follow. The game itself lacks in story, but I feel that's never been a weakness, as it's a great arena for people to develop stories and backgrounds themselves. Like, for example, if you come across a character's journal or steal it, and maybe the character's left a secret or some information your character can roleplay off. But there's also one more point which I think would be good. I'm only guessing this, but I reckon if an actual storyline comes out in the future, I'm guessing it's probably going to be something to do with finding messages on tapes and radio channels. But I reckon what would also be good is having it done with rare random spawns from journals containing vital storyline info. Either things that could lead you somewhere to get a loot of cash or something important, or actually to do with the storyline itself, who knows. But I reckon that would be a really good source just to come across something that holds a lot of information which would lead you somewhere totally different in the game, which would be awesome. Just a thought I'd throw out there, and forgive me for ranting. It could also work with modding as well, I guess, just ranting on. You know, if you wanted to create a storyline yourself, you could do it through a sequence of journals, or have a big journal that could keep loads of other people running around, you know, following a storyline through waypoints or some kind of a treasure hunt. Yeah, I think it's got some really good possibilities, the journal, and definitely it's something that it needs to be developed in the future, and it shouldn't be overlooked. And that's about it for this concept video. Send me your thoughts though, guys. Would you like to see this in modding? Could you see yourself writing into one of these items in the future? Or reading any one you come across? Or perhaps even using them in side quests or storylines? Till next time, guys, this has been Credit Dread. Stay safe out there and all the best.